everyone, I'm Karen. I'm here with Amanda. We're both registered dietitians, and we have our kids here. This is Olivia and Archer. Olivia's 2 and Archer's 5 months. So obviously Amanda's already gone through feeding Olivia, and she made all of her baby food from scratch. Archer's 5 months, so he's just going to start eating in about a month or so. Right now he's only having rice cereal, but since Amanda's the expert, she's here today to teach us a couple easy ways to make baby food.
Yeah. So making baby food was one of my favorite parts of being a mother. That sounds horrible, but I loved it because I love to cook and I love to explore new things with my daughter. So to start things off, I just cooked up some carrots. So these, you can see that I cooked them until they're about fork tender. So we can easily blend them up, or if it's for an older kid and they just need softer foods, you don't want to give them a raw carrot, they can easily eat that as well. So I put about 2 cups of organic carrots with about 1/4 cup of water, and I cooked that. I'm going to just throw it in the blender.
And Amanda has a Vitamix, which is awesome, but you can definitely use a regular blender as well at home.
Yeah. I feel like if you use a regular blender, you just kind of have to cook it a little bit more. So the more raw it is, the harder it's gonna to be. So that's one of the beauties of the Vitamix is you can blend up raw things, but if you cook it, you can use a regular blender, a food processor, whatever you have at home, a baby bullet. Okay, so we're gonna turn this on. We're gonna turn
ready?
it really low.
Ooh, what's that?
And so, so you just kind of it's baby food. Baby food. And then if you don't quite have enough water in there, you can add a little bit until it's the right texture. Okay, I'm going to turn it up.
So I feel like you could almost hear it too when it was like the right texture.
Exactly.
It was really smooth.
And you know, you're gonna be able to, and I feel like almost every parent probably tries their kids' food before they serve it to them. So if we just pour it back into this bowl, you can get a good feel for the texture. And then when you first start feeding kids food, if you're blending it, this doesn't really apply to baby-led weaning where you give kids foods whole. But if you're going the pureed route, usually you start with a thinner food, a thinner consistency. So you can feel free to make it thinner if you want.
Or you can add breast milk to it if you want to, or anything like that.
Or if you want to make it thicker, you can add some rice cereal or oats. And then we can go ahead and feed him some of this right now. Or we could save some for later and put it in the freezer, which is what I would always just make a big batch at once. And then put it in the freezer. This is my favorite. I bought this little ice cube tray at IKEA, and I find it's very helpful. But you could use any ice cube tray that you have laying around, and just add just a little bit of milk or breast milk or water when you reheat it, and just pop it in the microwave for like 30 seconds.
And you know, babies don't eat a lot, so this serving is probably going to be plenty for him to have in a sitting. Their stomachs are really small, so they only need a little bit. So I know it seems very tiny, but actually this will probably last us for 9 feedings or whatever it is.
Exactly. And that's the older she got, I put 2 ice cubes in, or 3. But at first, especially when you're just trying it out, you really don't need that much.
Yeah.
The beauty of making things from scratch is that you can start using the spices that you normally cook with. So I cook with garlic powder and basil and oregano and salt and pepper. And so as she got a little older, I would just add whatever I cooked with into it, and she loved it. So that's really fun. Other really easy things you can do, a banana right here. So this is a trick you can do, especially if you want to get them used to holding it on their own or feeding themselves. If you just push down in the middle, it splits into thirds, and so it's a nice little size for the baby. Or you could put it in a container and mash it up. So that's our banana. You also can do a sweet potato. Sweet potatoes are super, super easy to cook. You just rinse it off, pierce it a couple times with a fork, and pop it in the microwave. For this size, it'll probably need 5 to 6 minutes. take it out, feel it. If it still feels hard, then just pop it in for a little bit longer. But this is another thing, you don't even need a blender. You can just mash it up, add some breast milk or add some water to it, and you're good to go. And then same thing with an avocado. You could just give him a slice, give him a spoon, and have him play with it as much as he wants, or you could mash it up and do it like baby food.
Yeah, and I think at the beginning too, I've read that you should start with always mixing these kind of foods in with the rice cereal, just to give them a little bit of the taste. So start with putting the banana and this, or the sweet potato or the avocado in the rice cereal, and then mix it, and then they slowly can start eating it on its own as well.
And the rice cereal is fortified with iron and vitamins and minerals, and so it's great to include that in your diet.
And Archer's holding the black beans, so Amanda's also gonna.
And then black beans, garbanzo beans, any beans, you can make them from scratch, or you can make them from in a jar. But I always rinse it first. So rinse the beans that you have if you're doing it in a jar, so that way you get some of the extra sodium. Babies don't really need salt.
No,
they don't really.
We don't really need salt either.
Yeah,
but
that's true. But especially babies, their taste buds are so. They're so keen on, they're so new and keen on getting all these flavors that just giving them carrots or just giving them sweet potato is great. They do not need sugar on their sweet potato. They do not need a whole bunch of salt in their carrot. So just keep that in mind. Their taste buds aren't quite like ours yet.
all right, Archer, do you want to try a bite of carrot?
All right.
It's gonna be our first bite, so he might spit it out, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
You want me to feed him?
Yeah,
Okay.
give him a little bit.
Archer, you want to try?
Okay. Whoa.
Whoop. Okay. Oh. I think he likes it. Archer approved.
We at least like the spoon, so it's a start. Thanks guys for watching. Bye.